So, welcome to Beauty of Colors podcast, Gabby. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Very welcome. So, Gabby, tell the listeners about you and what was the driving force of you becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, great question. So, yes, my business name is Poquillo, and I help entrepreneurs to start their own business. And if they already have a business, to, see where are the gaps and improve upon those topics. So, for example, operations, if there's any gaps in there, I go in and help. The reason why I started to be an entrepreneur, I think I will have to go back in time. So one of those is because I saw my dad at a young age starting his own business. So I started my own business because I wanted to, but with my dad, it was a different story. So he was forced because he lost his job after the owner he took his life away, and like it wasn't expected. He had worked there for 11 years,
Mhm.
and he was like, what do I do? I need to feed my three kids and my wife. And he just had to make it work. There was no excuse. There needed to be a way to bring, money and food into the table. So that was like a really big impact for me to say, one day I want to have my own business. Then later on, as I went to college, I started, in the workforce. I kind of forgot about that. But then I started seeing this pattern, even with myself, where I was like, well, maybe I need another certification or I need to get another degree to start my business. And it was especially with, females where I saw that problem.
Mhm.
And so one of my closest friends, they would say that, or even when they wanted to apply for another job, like, hey Gabby, I'm not equipped enough. I need to equip myself with more tools under my tool belt. And so I was like, we need to break that cycle. So that was kind of the main idea that led me to launch Pokio in a new way with a consulting slash coaching service for females and small businesses.
Wow. So, what an interesting story, Gabby. So, Gabby, tell us about the business. The business is helping women entrepreneurs transform overthinking into action. How do you go about doing that? What are some of the simple steps that you can help women take today in order to build their business?
hmm Yeah, so the biggest things that I see hurdles or barriers when I talk with them is they have this great idea, this business that they want to launch, but they just stay in the idea phase. They never execute upon it. So when they come to me, they usually either fill out a form or we just jump on a 30-minute call to do kind of a diagnosis. Where are you at in this process? And so most of them, they are again in this idea phase. So I just give them practical advice that even right now, as our audience is listening, they can take advantage of. And that's with, okay, I have the service I want to sell. So for example, if you are thinking of doing bookkeeping because you have a lot of experience in that, you can draft a text message just saying, hi XYZ, I am doing bookkeeping. Do you know anyone that needs help in this area? I would love to talk to them. Feel free to refer me. And then you leave it at that. So it's a simple message, just using your phone. And then you open a contact, maybe close friends that you feel comfortable with that message. And then that's already executing upon your idea, and you never know. When I started this, that's how I did it. I didn't build a website or started doing ads. That's the simple step I took. And it was very interesting because I sent out about 10 texts the first 3 days. And where I got my first client, it was from a very unexpected person. So this person referred me to another person that I didn't even know she had connections. And, that led that whole conversation. Next thing you know, I, closed a very big deal and I'm projected to make about, just about like 30K with that client. So, um, don't disregard anyone when you are, reaching out to your network.
Wow. So Gabby, can you touch base a little bit on like the services you offer, like the quick consultation, the business clarity sessions, and the strategy sessions? Can you touch base a little bit on that?
Yeah, yeah. So, I break them into, I guess, like three phases, right? Depending on where you are. So for the business clarity, again, that's when you see that you have an idea, but you're not sure, or you have multiple ideas. That was my case. I love learning a lot of stuff, but because of that, sometimes it goes against me because when I was thinking of starting a business, I was like, well, I am good at customer success, so maybe I should do a coaching business around that. Or, well, I also know how to do bookkeeping. Let me do that. Oh, also, I know how to do tax preparing. So I was all over the place. And so I didn't know how to narrow that down.
Mhm.
So during these calls, we make a list of all of your ideas that you have, and then we analyze your strengths and your weaknesses. But on top of that, we analyze, okay, how much would you enjoy doing this? Because at the end of the day, you want a business that works for you. Yes, it has to earn you, earn you money so that you can, purchase everything that you need to do and survive, make a good living, but you need to enjoy it on your day-to-day basis. So for me, I was like, okay, bookkeeping can make me a reasonable amount of money, but I do not enjoy doing this. So I got one client. I was like, okay, I'm moving on. I scratched that out. But again, I lost 1 year in that process. And so through these exercises, you save that time of just, moving on quicker, realizing where you really want to focus, and then just spend time on that, executing on that job idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So with somebody coming to you and they want to open a business, do you help with any kind of business ideas, or is there specific business ideas
Mhm.
that you're more geared to?
Yeah, so as long as they are service-based ideas, I'm good with those. That's just because my expertise, my background is from like service-based businesses, helping my dad, helping right now as I'm building my business, I still work for a full-time startup. So a lot of my experience is like client facing, working with service-based businesses. So I can bring in that knowledge to my customers. But if you have like a product-based business, I can recommend you to a coach that focuses in that area.
So, so Gabby, how can the listeners get in contact with you? What are your social media links? Do you have any resources or on your website that you can either refer them to or they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great question. So, one of the easiest ways to connect with me is through LinkedIn, and I can give you this information after our podcast. But you can, connect with me on LinkedIn, even if there's not a need right now. Just feel free to connect with me there. Also, I have a website, boquillo.co. It's a Spanish word, so I'll spell it out for you. Poquillo, .co, and there you can see all of the services that I offer. And because you are hearing this podcast, you can, reach out to me and I will give you 30 minutes for free, just to see what's going on with your business. Just because I do have a lot of people reaching out. So I've gotten to the point where for a 1 hour consulting call, I charge 1K. So this is a big bonus if you want to reach out. And then, those text messages that I mentioned earlier on, I have a template where I've done all of the hard work, and you can just utilize those templates and make them your own. And I'll give you the link as well. So if you don't mind putting them in the details box or description, and that way our audience can take advantage of those templates.
Sounds great. So is it just the job that you do and helping women, is it women all over the world, or is it just based in the state that you're at? Or you do it all over the world? Is it virtual?
That's a great question. I've never been asked that before. So right now, it's all over the US remote. Um, I've I feel very comfortable doing remote work, just because the startup I worked for the last 4 years is 100% remote. So it's very easy if you don't have experience doing, working with someone remotely, no worries, I got you. It's pretty easy. Um, I haven't had any international clients, but I think that will be pretty cool. Um, as long as they speak English or Spanish, I am good for that. So yeah, I will be excited to get an international client.
Okay. So, Gabby, do you have any last words for the listeners about confidence and clarity in their business journey?
hmm Yeah. So I like this quote from one of our presidents, right? It's, fear, the biggest fear is fear itself. It's something along those lines. And I can resonate with that so much because you can be frozen, paralyzed by fear. Um, but you just need to take action and confront that fear. Once you do it, you will realize it wasn't as scary as you thought. Um, and something that has really, really helped me is having people that support me, and people that kind of bring me down. I have taken the decision to just, okay, let's not speak again until you change on that. So, just kind of making barriers for yourself because you do need positive people, especially as you start your entrepreneurship journey. So for me, that's been, my mom, she can hear me rant when I'm going through tough times, but also my best friend, that she also graduated from business. So, just have someone that, can make you accountable, and just take that first step. It doesn't have to be hard or complicated. It just find the quickest and the simplest way to take that next step. So again, going back to finding your own client or testing that business idea, you don't lose anything by texting out to people. You really don't. It will only validate your idea and see what you need to change if you need to make any changes.
Sounds excellent. So, Gabby, thank you for being on Beauty of Colors podcast.
No, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to, see what people say, their stories, about how they start their entrepreneurship journey as well.